I'm Julia. This is Grassroots Analytics Insider. Today I'm here with Madeleine. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Okay, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and what your role on the digital team is here?
Totes my goats. Hi, I'm Madeleine. I am a digital strategist here at GA.
Amazing.
I've been here almost 2 years.
Yay.
2 years in July. Happy
Cool.
anniversary to me. Yeah.
Amazing. You had a very different career path before you joined GA. Can you tell us about, how you got here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had a whole life before GA. I graduated from undergrad and thought I wanted to be a lawyer, as I think many people do.
Sure. I felt that.
Especially in Washington, D.C. And so I got a job in immigration as a paralegal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and did that out of undergrad, trying to, find myself, figure out what I wanted to do. And I think it took maybe about a year of doing that, going through the whole law school rigmarole, thinking about what I was going to do, that I was like, this is not my journey. This is not what I want to do at all. And so from there, I started investigating and thinking about what I could do. I thought maybe if I got out of the law firm life, I would be a little happier. So I went, I worked pretty much in-house at a consulting firm.
Got it.
After that for a little bit, also in immigration in that field, and just really realized that working not in a more tangible, actionable space wasn't my life's purpose, needless to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then tell us about how you had to adapt when you realized that was not your calling and you had to move forward and move on.
Yeah, talk about adapting. A mid-career pivot
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially into politics. I think the nice thing about the political space is that it is very welcoming to people who want to get involved, who want to make a difference.
Sure.
But finding your foot in the door and where you can do that can be very challenging.
Yeah.
So there was probably about a year and a half of me just really thinking about where I could fit in and where my skills were applicable. Because it's nice to have a passion. It's nice to have something that you want to do. But unless you can actually find an outlet for that where you're helpful and also can make a living, is difficult. So I tried a bunch of different things, a lot of informational interviews, a lot of talking to friends who were in politics, talking to other people who they connected me with. And eventually I found Arena. I think GA does stuff with Arena.
We do, yeah. Great partner. We love Arena.
I love Arena. So I found Arena through one informational interview and actually did one of their boot camps.
Cool.
After finding them and doing the digital route of that boot camp, I was like, it's an intensive, whole weekend, long weekend that I don't think I left my computer for more than maybe 30 minutes just from all the stuff I was learning, all the information I was getting. But I was so happy and excited.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Cool.
And from there was okay, digital. That is I have communications background. I have a data mind of looking at the numbers, trying to find what happens and what's good. What happens and what's good, trying to find the groove in fundraising and seeing where money goes and all of this stuff. So long story long, I figured digital was the route, and through Arena again, saw the GA job, applied, and GA took a chance on me.
Wow. Oh, that's such a special story.
Thanks.
If you could go back and give yourself advice when you were kind of feeling law and law school wasn't for you, what would you say?
I think it's cliche, but give yourself grace.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, life is such a journey. Not to get very meta, but life is a journey and there's no linear path. And if you try too hard to, not even try too hard to, when you don't give yourself the grace to try something, to fail, to come back and do something that maybe you didn't even expect, you cut yourself off from so many opportunities.
Yeah. I also feel when you're kind of in undergrad and everybody wants to be a lawyer in DC, you don't really give yourself the opportunity to change your mind.
Exactly.
And it's so cool and inspiring that you did.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of people and a lot of my friends who are lawyers out there are well, I just did it because it's what you do.
Yeah.
And I decided I was going to do it. I'm going to go do it. And now they're maybe not as happy as they could be.
Yeah.
But also plenty of people in the law field.
Plenty of people are, yeah.
Who love being a lawyer.
Totally. Okay, returning to your digital work at GA. Recently you went on a campaign embed with a primary campaign a week before their election. How did you have to adapt when working on the ground like that with a campaign and team?
Ugh, you know I love an embed. I think it's one of the best parts of working at GA. I'm obsessed with them. I mean, the week before a primary, the week before an election, is kind of one of the craziest time periods in a campaign.
Yeah.
So much is already done. So much can't be done. So much can be done. It's truly, I think, the most adapting part. And I think, especially when we're embedded as a with our digital programs, I think you see a lot of the real-time pivoting that you have to do.
Yeah.
So, for example, with digital, when we're trying to raise money, we're sending texts, we're sending emails, we're looking at where GA's data can be used for different effective targeting.
Sure.
It's really easy to get fixated on something you thought was going to work. It's really easy to like decide that this list, this group of people that you think are going to really resonate with your messaging, understand where the candidate is coming from, want to help the candidate, is like the way to go.
Yeah.
And that specific message is how to do it. But you have to really let go of that and learn to just like trust the information you're getting.
Yeah.
And adapt with that. So that
Right.
means maybe looking at different people who might be more interested actually. Or
Right.
is it the messaging that's not actually resonating with the people you thought it was? Is there a word you can tweak? Like all of those little things, you have to make sure you come at any problem with as clean of eyes as you can.
Amazing. That's a great lesson for like many other things too.
For life.
Yeah, amazing. How do you think campaign teams and candidates themselves should approach the unpredictability of running for office?
Ooh, with adaptability.
Wow.
But seriously, I do think that in all parts of a campaign, it's really easy to think that you have a script of what has to be done. You have this box to check.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, this election cycle, politics in general, has shown us that like we don't really know as much as we think we know.
Sure.
And being able to accept that and move with it
Right.
is an art of itself.
Sure. Amazing. What advice would you give a first-time candidate?
Ooh, okay. I was thinking about this, and I think there's no call that's too little for you to make. Like, you should be calling everybody and anybody you know.
Yeah.
Like, you met them once. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Send them a chat. Like, connections, networking, using your community to get your campaign off the ground is the best way to go. Because politics, campaigns are a social thing. They are something where you know someone who knows someone, and you need to be able to leverage your community, the people who back you, the people who believe in you,
Right.
to really get to the finish line.
Yeah. That's an amazing way to look at it. I also think it's like you lean on this community to run for office and win, and then you are able to give back to them by being in office, and they all want that and want to support you and your platform. What an amazing way to look at it. Okay, what about someone looking to get into politics in a similar way that you did, whether they're brand new to the workforce or switching gears like yourself? What would you say?
Don't lose faith. I know it is probably it's probably the hardest thing that I have done to this point.
Yeah.
In just believing and betting on myself, and that I can make this pivot, and that like trusting it even after you start making it, and that the journey you're on is not going to be just because your journey isn't a typical workforce. I got out of college, I joined a firm, I did this thing.
Right.
Like projection, that doesn't mean you're less valuable, your time's less valuable, or your journey is less valuable. So like having faith in that.
Yeah.
It's so cliche. I know.
No, it's okay. What advice would you give to someone who is like worried that they're starting over too late?
Yeah. I mean, it's never too late.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier for me to say that, and for like you'd be like, it's never too late, you can do it at any point. Because I even like to this day still have times where I'm like, did I make the right decision?
Yeah, of course.
Am I like, did I pivot too late? Is it too late for me? Like all of these questions.
Right.
But I always come back to, like, you're never, it's gonna sound so clear, you're never as young as you are today. Is that the saying? Where, like, if you start doing the thing today and you start moving forward with what you really are passionate about, what you love,
right,
at least you're never as young today. It's never going to be easier than today.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think there's just, like, especially in DC and in politics, and, like, coming from, you know, high pressure undergrad situations, everyone thinks that they are too old to do anything. Yeah. It's like you don't want to be behind.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, fighting with that and giving yourself the grace you were talking about is really important.
Yeah. The comparison is the theft of joy. Truly. Trying to compare yourself to someone else's journey, someone else's career will never land you in that position. It'll never land you where you want to be.
Right. Totally. So we've talked a lot about your work on campaigns and in elections, but GA doesn't only work with campaigns and elections clients. We also work with nonprofits and, you know, causes and organizations. So how do you adapt your strategies across the range of clients that we work with?
Definitely. I mean, there are definitely two different beasts, right? I mean, when you're looking at a campaigns or a nonprofits client, it's important to remember that they're not equal in their goals, objectives, what the ultimate purpose of raising this money is for. A campaign, there's always a deadline, right? There's election day. There's a time where we have to stop raising money and do the darn thing.
Sure.
With a nonprofit, the deadline is until
forever.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they solve what they're trying to solve, but there's always the next thing.
Sure.
There's always something else. So making sure that the longevity of the program, the longevity of the fundraising is taken into account, as well as who the donor is. A campaign donor, someone who's motivated to give to a campaign, to the call to action, is much different than someone who's motivated to give to a nonprofit.
Sure.
And appreciating that and recognizing that it's not equal. It's not tit for tat.
Yeah. Okay, great. Can you tell us about a time where you are most proud of your impact?
Oh, I mean, it comes to mind because it just happened. In the most recent embed that we did, that we talked about already, we were able to raise, in the 2 days that we were there, over a quarter of our total budget.
Wow.
Or total goal. Yeah. For pre-primary, so before the 17th. So it was like an absolute, being in with the campaign, seeing how excited everyone was, and seeing the campaign manager, turn to me and say, this money is going to make a difference. Yeah. Like,
that's so special.
Real time being like, this means I can get another ad out. I can get our message to someone else. Like, that, to have the candidate there and be like, wow, this raised so much more than the call time that I was doing in the room next door. What? But yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I really think that, like, being on the ground on a campaign team is so special because, like, it's immediate impact. You really can see what you're doing and how it's making a difference. Yeah. Oh, cool. Can you talk about how you lean on a GA pillar in your work on the digital team? Yeah,
I mean, one that comes to mind is smart risks over familiar wins.
Yeah.
Especially as we've talked about adaptability.
Sure.
When I think about all of the work that we did on the ground, what we do every day in digital, it's exactly that just because something is familiar and how it's always been done does not mean that is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think approaching every day as an opportunity to strategically think about, what test can I run today to really actually learn something about the donors, about what is motivating people, all of that, versus just guessing.
Yeah. I love that you touched on, you want to learn something today. Like, I really do think that, like, in the work that we do and how data driven we are at Grassroots, it's like you always have the opportunity to learn something.
Yeah.
That's a great flag.
Yeah. Even if it's like a negative thing, even if it turns out that something didn't work, you learned really valuable information.
Exactly. It was a smart risk.
In that. Yes, exactly.
Cool. What are you feeling most hopeful about right now?
Oh, it's going to sound cliche, but I really do feel hopeful when it comes to like showing up to work and seeing the people I'm working with. Yeah. I know we're on a GA podcast, and maybe it sounds like I am pandering to that, but it's true. I mean, I think I see people in politics, and we're really looking for that change, for the adaptability that can create a better community, a better party, something that's going to leave the world in a better place, because at the end of the day, that's why we all show up.
Yeah, it is.
And I think we all believe in such a uniting idea of what tomorrow can be. Mm-hmm. And that makes me really hopeful that we have some of our best people on it. So, yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing. Well, this was an amazing and inspirational convo. I hope that you've inspired people to maybe get into politics from a job that they're otherwise unhappy in. Amazing advice. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yay. This was fun.
Yay.